Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Right already. Do this. All right, here we go.
All right.
Welcome to We the People, the home edition, if you will.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I like
as,
it.
as I told you guys on yesterday, it's very curious that for 6 months we've not had a problem broadcasting, but as soon as we got interviews with candidates running against Angela also Brooks, permits got lost or confused and all that fun stuff. Now, I'm not saying I don't know it to be a fact, but I know it's the truth. Okay, so before we get started, welcome to We the People. As you know, my regular listeners, we come to you each and every Thursday, and we come to remind you that you have power and say so in your government. Before we get started with our guest, Marcellus Cruz, who is one of three candidates vying for Ben Cardin's seat, uh, we want to remind you that there are two $5,000 scholarships that the Tillman family, the Anthony Richard Tillman family, gives away every year. For if you want to request a scholarship form for any student who is interested in assisting the disabled or the mentally challenged when they graduate from high school, please, please, please send an email to Feger, Feger 2023 at gmail.com. That's Feger, family, education, government, economics, and religion 2023 at gmail.com. Second announcement, we do it every week. Paul Montero, the Secretary of Service and Civic Innovation and a member of Governor Wes Moore's Executive Council, has instituted two programs. The first is called Service Year Option and is designed for COVID graduates. Folks who came out of high school 2019 to 2022. Now, the applicants must be a resident of Maryland. You got to be a Maryland resident. And you have to have either a GED, a diploma, or a certificate of completion. The second program is called Maryland Corp. That's where there is no age limit and no requirement for a diploma. This is for folks who have a little more gas in the tank, as Paul Montero often jokes with me. If you're interested in either of those programs, please text the word Maryland to 21000 and get your information. Third, and not, well, last but certainly not least, Tanya Sweat uh, is a candidate that we should have in the county executive seat. She was on your ballot last election, and a lot of the independents that I talked to a man, voted for her. But as I tell you, folks, we are in a closed primary state. And in a closed primary state, as an election judge, I can't refuse to give you a ballot if you're Green Party or if you're independent. But at the end of the day, that vote is not going to get counted. So if you are in a closed primary state, of which Maryland is one, you want to register Republican or Democrat. All right, now we're gonna focus on the star of the show right now. That is Marcellus Cruz.
All right.
Okay,
All right. Let's do it.
okay, and I'm gonna move out of the camera frame because I just want to talk to him. But as I tell you guys, we don't know these people, but we have to learn how to vet a candidate. And the way that I vet a candidate is I think of my own interests and I ask them questions as it relates to that. I've asked several of you guys to send me questions, but several of you guys have said, I don't know what to ask him except one, and that's Angela Boyd. And Angela, I'm going to save your question for last.
All right.
So I'm getting out of the way,
Okay.
all right,
Okay.
and focus on the star of the show.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
So, first and foremost, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your platform. I told people to go to your website.
Okay. Okay. Well, simplified, if you go to the website, you're not going to really get me. And we're working on that.
Mm-hmm.
But my name is Marcellus Cruz. I'm running for the U.S. Senate. I have been in Maryland for over 36 years. I'm a business owner. I run a technology innovation company. We do a lot of services. Over 6,000 homes we've been in across Maryland. We are in businesses from healthcare to construction. We are a state vendor, and we are also in embassies.
Mm-hmm.
So I deal with a lot of our allies and ambassadors, dealing with their technology infrastructure. And finally, the most important, I've been in schools. So I'm gonna give my platform real simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've been on the front line.
Mm-hmm.
And being on the front line, it guides you, it teaches you, and it gives you a focus that a lot of other candidates may not have.
Mm-hmm.
What is my focus? So I'm in innovation. When I look at the economy, I see the engines that run it.
Mm-hmm.
What are those engines? Consumer spending,
Mm-hmm.
government spending,
Mm-hmm.
business investment,
Mm-hmm.
and our exports, net
Right.
exports. That's the engine to the economy. But what we forget is the fuel that fuels that engine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's people.
Right.
When that fuel is weak, or that fuel is not as potent as we need it to be, the our economy is not as strong as it can be.
Agreed.
And so my thing is from a network standpoint, from a technology, because people ask me, what does that have to do with government?
Mhm.
Well, what is technology? It's moving data quicker and faster and disseminating it and manipulating
Mhm.
it to what you want to see.
Okay.
Well,
Let me cut you
Mhm.
cut you off for a minute.
Mhm.
Okay. We want well, basically, people want to know because you're running for a federal office.
Federal office.
And the federal offices, and I'm going to say in layman's terms, kind of set the rules
Yes.
for the whole country.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we want people to know how you think.
Yes.
Okay, and so a question that I had, and I'm going back to
Mhm.
conversations I've had with
Mhm.
my co-hosts and,
Mhm.
and that kind of thing, is what do you see as the most pressing issue? Because this is a general question.
So and I'm glad you asked that because
Mhm.
that's where I was headed.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a weak economy and it's people,
Mm-hmm.
the most pressing thing becomes how do you get our society corrected? How do you correct this infrastructure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, crime, poverty, welfare,
Mm-hmm.
people in mental health situations, our veteran situations, our senior citizen situations. When I look at all of those issues, it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to education.
Absolutely.
You cannot fix any of those things without education. So I just said I'm a network innovation guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm apply that to people in our situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to get young people and our adults into the fight faster and quicker,
Mm-hmm.
understanding our jobs of today and tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
then education curriculum has to change.
Right.
Because what we have right now is not setting them up for success.
Mm-hmm.
It's setting them up for failure.
Okay, but education is not confined or relegated to the formal classroom. How do you reach old folks like me?
So let me give you my plan, and then I'm gonna break it out. So the plan is simple.
Uh-huh.
It is time to because once you transform one curriculum, it's transforming all curriculums. They have to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So K through 12
Mm-hmm.
need to move to the STEM program,
Mm-hmm.
trade and IT certifications
Mm-hmm.
with financial literacy added, along with life skills
Mhm.
added, K
Mhm.
through 12. My point here is it is time to start preparing them now, not tomorrow,
Without
for
a
the
doubt.
jobs.
Yeah.
Okay? With that comes after school program and over the summer are apprenticeships,
Mm-hmm.
starting at sixth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's when they should be allowed to get certifications and go and start mirroring and seeing what this thing that I said I like or what
Right.
it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
That then moves into our community colleges as well.
Mhm.
It's going to push our university colleges
Mm-hmm.
all alike. Why? Because now if we're really serious about welfare reform and poverty,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of adults, single families, single, that need to know what they don't know.
Right.
So we have to allow them to go and get life skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have to allow them to get financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
We have to allow them to go and understand what they just don't know and
Mhm.
how to better them and prepare them for the jobs of today. Because right now, a lot of them can't fill them.
Oh,
I'm a
right.
business owner.
Mhm.
A lot of them cannot fill them. And so we have to retrain our adults right now for the jobs of today, right now. We have to meet them where they are, give them the information, take them through training, and get
Mhm.
them here as quick and as fast as we possibly can.
Mhm.
A lot of them want this. A lot of them need this. They just don't have it. And I want to make it simple.
Mhm.
Okay? I'm tired of great programs, but you
Mhm.
got to go hunt to find it.
Mhm.
No.
Kind of like the apprenticeship program in Prince George's County that I just learned of over the summer. The programs are out there. Why are they not getting to where they need to be?
Okay. So I have my platform has three pillars.
Okay.
Education is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Innovation is the other.
Mm-hmm.
Service is that other one.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the question that you just asked me, how do we get these programs out there in front of everyone?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times our senators go to Congress and congressmen,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pass these bills and they say, oh, I passed this bill, and it comes back to the state. And now the state has to deal with it.
Right.
Well, they're the ones who passed the bill. They understand the bill. At least they should.
Mm-hmm.
They need to bring their behinds back to the state and
Mm-hmm.
help implementation of
Mhm.
it. That's been my problem. I've been checking on a lot of programs that go and die.
Mm-hmm.
They die in the county and that money goes somewhere else.
Yeah,
Oh,
in people's pockets, but that's a whole nother story.
Right, that's a whole other story.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
it's time for our senators to come back, roll up their sleeves,
Mhm.
help the governor, help county execs, help mayors, help everyone
Mhm.
implement these programs. And the
Mhm.
programs I'm talking about, I'm not going to leave that to somebody else. I'm not going to just say, oh, let's just implement this any old kind of way.
Mhm.
Why? Because our young people need this and adults
Mhm.
need this type of program right now.
But if you have tiered folks, you have the feds, which is where you're going. They passed the bill.
Mhm.
Shouldn't the governor understand what that means or the nuances of the bill and then train his folks at that level so they can farm out?
Yes and no. I believe I look at leadership as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And from the federal level, yes, we passed that bill, but especially if I'm intimate with that bill, I should come back and work with the governor
Mm-hmm.
and work with his team in implementing it.
Okay.
The power of a senator is much more than what we have seen it to be.
Okay, tell the folks what the power of the senator is now.
All right.
Okay.
Well, simplified, everybody I know is asking, well, have you been in government?
Mm-hmm.
Right? No,
Mm-hmm.
I've not been in government. I've worked with government and for government.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm getting ready to jump in again.
Yeah,
Too.
right.
In the 50s and the 60s, we got a lot more done with lay people in
Exactly.
government than we do for these folks who got degrees up the wazoo.
And here's the deep thing. Our founding fathers never saw our government to be the way we have set it up.
Mm-hmm.
I have to become this, and then I become that, and then I move my way up. By then, all my great ideas are gone, and I'm older, and I'm not as robust.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are the requirements? It's just age, where I live, and I have to be a citizen. Why are the requirements that way? Because when we go through issues in this country, they wanted any and everybody to run with new ideas and get them out there to help the people.
Exactly.
They didn't want to create barriers. So when I look at our system and I see people run out of ideas, they're not doing the work. They have the wrong view of a senator. What is a senator? A senator is somebody who's going to represent the people of that state at the federal level. So to me, that means I'm representing you not just there, but I'm coming back with what we passed. I'm trying to make sure whatever we pass does no harm for my own state.
Exactly.
And so when I have that kind of view, and then my skill set is in innovation, come on, now talk to me. My skill set is in innovation. What is our economy? It's in innovation. It's in technology. So
Mhm.
I cannot sit quietly. I pass the bill and I go, hey, governor, go
Mhm.
ahead and take care of it. No.
Mhm.
I come back, we talk, we discuss
Mhm.
where are our pitfalls, and we roll up our sleeves and we go to work.
Mhm.
Because our young people and our adults need this more than ever. So why should I stand on the sidelines going, oh, they should have it.
Mhm.
They should get it. And
Mhm.
then I see this is not happening. This is what I call, listen, I run a company. And in my company, our rule is don't just know the one thing you know, learn the
Mhm.
other things
Mhm.
and be ready to pitch in.
Mhm.
Nobody is greater than the lowest person.
So see, this is a problem with government today is people don't even know what they don't know. And that's a big reason why we do this show.
Mhm.
So we can let folks know that all 435 of them Bama's in the House of Representatives and all 100 of them U.S.
Yes.
senators have input in what you do in your state, and I don't care where you
Yes.
live.
Yes.
So we ought to be able to pick up the phone. And I've never been. And let me preface this. Um, I believe
Mhm.
that any elected official worth its salt,
Yes.
is a her salt, should at least give you the courtesy of a freaking response. Now, when I called Van Hollen's office, because I've been to Capitol Hill,
Mhm.
I have hand carried 100 letters to
Mhm.
100 different senators.
Mhm.
I had done that. This
Mhm.
was before COVID, and I've done it maybe twice a month. I used to do it with this woman who I was partnering with on another radio show. But people need to know that you folks are touchable,
Yes.
and people think that you are not. And that's why
That's
this is big to me,
yes.
to show people that all you got to do is ask. If you don't ask the question, you got a 100% failure. You got a 50-50 shot if you ask.
Yes.
And that's a question that I got. How do you get these people to come to your house? I ask them. They're either gonna say yes or they're gonna say no.
There you go.
If they say, if they say no, I'm no worse off than I was in the first place, and I keep it moving.
There you go.
But
Can I say
yeah,
something on
please.
that? In our run, we've been doing a lot of grassroots.
Mhm.
All of the groups we've been meeting with,
I've been
we're
checking you out.
making this really clear. I'm glad you're checking me out. We're making it very clear. This is not about me
Mhm.
winning. This is about all of us winning and
Mhm.
then keeping that coalition together.
Mm-hmm.
Not me going off, hey guys, I got this. No, I don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
I need your help. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to meet regularly. We have to find time to come back together,
Mm-hmm.
talk as a group, and let me lay out the lay of the land of what's happening.
Right.
Let you break down what you're seeing and what you're feeling, and we come up with solutions to how we break this gridlock.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Mm-hmm.
and being activists.
Mm-hmm.
My point here is that is what our elected leaders end up going to do. They
Mm-hmm.
get elected and then they forget
Mm-hmm.
who got them elected,
Right.
and they're off busy doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the job is more than just
Mm-hmm.
off,
Yeah.
okay? There's a song called Miss My Time with You. God talking to man, saying,
Mm-hmm.
you're off working for me, but you ain't spending any time with me.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, an elected official, yes, I'm off working for you, but I gotta come and spend time. How am I gonna know?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If anybody questions this, I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I sound like
Mm-hmm.
you.
Exactly.
Because I'm one of you, fed up,
Mm-hmm.
tired of the service that we're getting, and nobody's thinking
We
through.
getting service?
Well,
Okay.
well, you know,
I'm
I
messing
mean,
with
we're
you.
getting
I'm sorry.
something.
Okay. Screwed.
But it's time to change that.
Right. Right.
And yes, one person standing up can change that, but it takes us all being active. Martin Luther King stood up and said, I want to help change it, but he had to keep everyone together,
Mm-hmm.
going
Right.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point.
Yeah. Well, I tell folks that, and I forgot to say that at the top of the show, education
Yes.
is our passport to the future.
Yes.
Because tomorrow belongs for them folks who prepare for it today. And we have a lot of tools out here that are just not being used
At all.
at all.
At all.
We have, going to local government, we have a school board who doesn't even know how to, the chairman doesn't even know how to conduct a freaking meeting. And if she doesn't like what you say or doesn't like what she hears, she just cuts you off. That's why I don't like the Zoom meetings because it's not, when they don't like what you say or what they hear, they just cut you off. They really don't get a sense
Mm,
of what the people want or what the people need.
mm,
All right.
mm.
So I got a whole bunch of stuff
Okay.
written down here.
Well, while you look at that, I just want to say
Okay. Keep talking.
my thing is a skill set is important in
Mm-hmm.
an elected
Mm-hmm.
official. My skill set and my character, I run towards dialogue. I
Mm-hmm.
run towards an issue.
Right.
I could be the cause of it, but I want to learn why
Mm-hmm.
I did, what I need to do
Mm-hmm.
differently.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who get into elected office and their character and skill set is different. They're
Mm-hmm.
more laid back, phlegmatic. They're
Mm-hmm.
not outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
That person is going to have problems with confrontation.
Mm-hmm. Most people have problems with confrontation.
Well, but there's a select few of us who do not.
Yeah, exactly.
I love confrontation because we grow.
Yeah.
The egg has to break for us to grow.
I don't particularly like it, but I ain't scared of it.
Right there, you see? And I love that because we are dealing with each other
Mm-hmm.
and we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you grow and you get something done.
Mm-hmm.
But being passive, we're not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
And this is why I go out to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been meeting people in just about every county,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've been building
Mm-hmm.
that support system.
Mm-hmm.
So now it is right for us to now start doing a lot of interviews
Mm-hmm.
and getting on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because now we did it the opposite way. I
Right.
didn't go guns a-blazing with ads.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Oh, here I am. No.
Yeah.
Meet me first. Let me understand what issues you're dealing with.
Right.
Now we can go guns a-blazing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. I was reading my favorite book, and I pulled it out, "Surrender Like People" by D.L. Hughley.
May I?
Okay, you may.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes, people ask me, "Have you read all of those books?"
All right.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right. And I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
I've even written one. Okay. I wrote two, but anyway, he says laws are made for the poor people. And when I read that, I said, okay, laws are made for 99% of us. Loopholes are made for the 1%.
Mm.
What say you about that? How would you break that down to the electorate?
This is okay. The way, and I've told my dad this and my parents this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if we want change, we have to bring change ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are a lot of laws that are written. Why? Because the powerful get into office.
Right.
And they're gonna write a law against themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of laws, yeah, and sometimes a law, sometimes they try to do the right thing, but yes, there are a lot of laws that go against the people
Mm-hmm.
who desperately need help the
Mhm.
most. And I can think about our incarceration rate,
Mhm.
right? So my thing is to come in. I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
I'm a technology innovation guy.
Mm-hmm.
We like getting things done.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like just arguing.
Right.
So my point is to see the lay of the land and think through, how do we change this?
Mm-hmm.
How do we get education to our incarcerated brothers
Mm-hmm.
and sisters?
Mm-hmm.
How do we transform those systems where they want to let them release them earlier
Mm-hmm.
than hold them because they make money off of
Mm-hmm.
them? Okay. And so my thing is, I talked about education. Well, I'm talking across the board.
Yeah.
Education going into our prison systems,
Mm-hmm.
making it an incentive for a for-profit correction facility to release that inmate if they get certifications,
Mm-hmm.
if they can place them into a job.
Mm-hmm.
Now they get released sooner, and they still have a monetary, effect on them.
Mm-hmm.
But now that person is delivering to society.
Mm-hmm.
My point here is a lot of laws have been written, but there's ways around those laws for us now. And this is the time for us to start getting in there with new ideas and way of transforming our systems. Because crime is out there and we got to bring the hammer down on it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we don't want to bring the hammer down on it a lot of times is because we don't want good people getting swept up, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a lost generation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thing is, We don't want crime everywhere, but let's come up with a system where when they go in it, there's a way out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. If you get swept up and you really want something better for your life, let's change that curriculum in our correction facility. Let's actually put a curriculum.
That's what I was-
Right. Because I know that there's some facilities that offer things,
Mhm.
but my thing is the less mandated across the board.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
for state and for private, and let's make it something where it's good for them.
Right.
And let's come up with a way for when they do get out, they can actually get back to society. See,
Mhm.
we don't think through these things. We just think, oh, let's just do this, let's do that, and it's benefiting somebody.
Mhm.
Come on, it's benefiting
Oh
somebody.
yeah.
But I'm thinking, how do I help this person feel like they're still being benefited
Mhm.
while benefiting the situation?
Mhm.
And so that's what I mean by let's think outside the box, new thinking, new innovation in our ways of implementing these laws. And now we'll feel more comfortable with saying, let's crack down on crime
Mhm.
because we now know John and Bobo are going to be
Mhm.
fine.
Right.
They're going to be fine
Mhm.
once they get in because now we're going to be pushing them towards something
Mhm.
if they want it.
Yeah. But then another thing too, there is economics
Yes.
to your crime because I think, and I've met and talked to people, you know, I'm not trying to go out here and commit a crime just for the sake of it,
Yes.
but I can get a job
Yes.
and I got babies to feed.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
expect me to do?
Well, that's my see, and this is what I love about my platform. I can
Mhm.
come right back to it.
Mhm.
My whole point is to transform the curriculum
Mhm.
across the board. Now just follow this. This young person who's in a poverty-stricken area
Mhm.
can get a certification by grade 6.
Mhm.
That's a
Good
game
stuff.
changer.
Yeah, it's a game changer. Yeah,
That
absolutely right.
and they're doing apprenticeships.
Mhm. So by the time they get out of 12th grade, they'll be able to come out and make a living.
I'm gonna go one step further.
Okay.
While they're in high school,
Mhm.
they'll be able to make a living.
Yeah.
Because now they're working in the field
Mhm.
or fields that they're interested in.
Mhm.
And we're not talking about one certification.
Right.
They may come out with 3 or 4 certifications.
Mhm.
That is a game changer for our young people.
Right.
That is getting them in front of business
Mhm.
quicker, sooner, faster. Remember I said that's my innovation mind.
Right.
And so now this person who's had kids, we're now mandating and pushing them towards education.
Mhm.
We're
Mhm.
pushing them towards getting their certifications.
Mhm.
So I'm a mom who I would just want better for my kids.
Mhm.
Now I'm pushing and I'm getting her internships and apprenticeships with small businesses so that they can see the talent. My point here is how we do sports is the same way how we should do our businesses and our educational system. NBA looks at the NCAA.
Mhm.
NCAA is looking at high
Gotcha.
schools.
Gotcha.
Are you following me?
Mhm.
So now let's get our small businesses looking at the talent in the educational system. They will love this.
Mhm.
I'm one of them.
Mhm.
I can't hire enough. I wish I can hire more people.
I'm loving that. I am.
So I'm saying in a couple of years,
Mhm.
we would have revamped
Mhm.
our whole society.
Mhm.
And my focus obviously is Maryland. We
Mhm.
would have revamped, let's just talk about Maryland. We would have revamped Maryland.
Mhm.
And we would have taken it to a more innovative
Mhm.
place.
Mhm.
When you take it to a more innovative place, what happens? New jobs,
Right.
new thinking, new companies sprout up, wages go up.
Mhm.
And what are we talking about with getting them certifications? Their wages are going up. They're now not working at McDonald's, nothing against McDonald's, but now they're in other, you're getting your CNA quicker.
Uh-huh.
You can work in a hospital quicker.
What's a CNA?
Well, okay. But what I'm getting at is
Mhm.
you can become a nurse assistant of high
Mhm.
school. And while in high school, you could be working in that. You can find
Right,
out,
yeah.
do I want to really go into medicine?
We used to do that
We
in the
used to do-
50s and 60s.
So this is why my plan isn't some
Mhm.
pie in the sky.
Right.
Is bringing back what we
What
know,
worked.
what worked, and what we know.
Mhm.
And we know that IT is now a part of every part of our society.
Mm-hmm.
even in currency now.
Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, yeah, let me ask you about that because 'cause that's in here somewhere. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Cryptocurrency, because I've been I had invested in it some years back, but it's not real. It's not your banks are guaranteed by the government. If it gets whatever happens,
Mhm.
it's guaranteed up to $250,000 by the government.
Mhm.
Cryptocurrency is not regulated. Um, it's not real.
Okay, so I'm gonna address that,
Okay.
like I will address all technology.
Okay.
There are a lot of millionaires and billionaires who will tell you it is very much real.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who were sleeping in their cars
Mm-hmm.
and now are multimillionaires
Mm-hmm.
flying across the country and
Give
across
me
the
some
world.
names because I'd like to look that up.
Marcus
'Cause-
Davis.
huh?
I'm gonna give you a name, Marcus Davis. You can look this.
Oh, I'm going to look it up.
Right, yeah, you can look that up. Marcus Davis is a name I will give you, and I'm sure
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, because Warren Buffett says it's a pie in the sky kind of thing. Elon Musk, who well anyway, pulled back from crypto. It goes up and down as
Well,
anything
just like the stock market, it goes up
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
down, and there's new instruments that they're coming up with
But
every day.
in the stock market, I can see aluminum foil from Reynolds Aluminum. I see that. Okay.
Right.
Tesla, I see a car.
Right.
Crypto, what do I see? I don't see a bank. I don't see nothing.
This is what I have to say to it, and maybe for a lot of people, this is the Wild Wild West right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Wild Wild West became its own community
Mm-hmm.
now today. AI,
Mm-hmm.
cryptocurrency, technology as we know it is only going to expand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to retract. It's only going to expand. It's going to eat up everything in its wake.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Because we're talking about moving data quicker and faster.
Mm-hmm.
And our plight as humans is to receive things quicker and faster and manipulate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is not going away. The federal government is getting involved in digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they know this is not going away. This is only going to continue to expand. We have too many multimillionaires and billionaires now in cryptocurrency.
What about the guy who got caught in his?
Oh, yeah, I know you're speaking of.
Yeah.
Well, there's always going to be bad apples, and there's always going to be deception
Mm-hmm.
in our world. But that is not going to stifle innovation.
Yeah, but what was his crime? I mean, he took people's money and did what? All I know
From
is
what I understand, and I don't want to speak too much about it because I
Mhm.
don't know everything about it, but a Bernie Madoff kind of vibe.
yeah.
And so what did Bernie Madoff do? He took people's money.
Mm-hmm. And sold them some pie in the sky.
Sold them pie in the sky.
Cryptocurrency
And
is
he
pie in the
kept,
sky.
well, not exactly. We're talking about a system he built.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about a system he built. He could have built that system with regular money.
Mhm.
That's the point here.
Oh, okay.
He could have built that same system with whatever,
Mhm.
coins.
Mhm.
But if I take your money
Mm-hmm.
and I take this other person's money
Mm-hmm.
and I'm paying this person and I'm doing this
Mhm.
and I'm steady taking their money, but I'm telling you your
Mhm.
investment is solid and
Rolling,
sound,
right.
and I'm giving you a little bit money back to show you, well, I'm building this pyramid scheme
Mm-hmm.
that is gonna fall one day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you can do that with any currency.
Mm-hmm.
But it just happened to be with digital currency
Mhm.
that this guy. Now, I'm not saying that was his full game or gambit,
Mm-hmm.
but anytime you see something like that, it's some form or fashion of that.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, like I said, there are instruments today that you can invest in that are sure things that can make you money in cryptocurrency. And then you can convert that right back to dollars if you want.
Mm-hmm.
People are making money and it's not going to go away. I'm giving people the honest answer here.
Mm-hmm.
If I thought this was going to fail, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in technology. I see where things are going.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm running for the U.S. Senate, because it is time for an expert who's been on the front line to come into that body to
Mhm.
give them a little bit more educated
Take
view.
them to school.
Right, because this runs our life.
Mm-hmm.
This runs our life. I don't care
That's
what
true.
anybody say.
Yeah, I don't know what I did before this. I don't.
So when somebody says, "Well, what are you going to bring to Congress?" Well, what? Look at your life. You're run by technology.
Mhm.
You do everything now with this device,
Mhm.
and so now when I say cybersecurity,
Mhm.
you hear me loud and clear because you need cybersecurity for this.
Mhm.
You need to protect your data.
Right.
Which is so important to you because let me come take your phone and let's see how important it is. And let me take that phone and go through it.
Mhm.
And that'll tell you now I'm explaining cybersecurity.
Mhm.
And it's time for someone like me to get into the Congress
Mhm.
to help with AI
Mhm.
and the laws that we should be passing now.
Mhm.
They don't understand it. They don't know. They don't want to stop innovation. I get that.
Mhm.
They don't want to stomp on it.
Mhm.
Well, my thing is I know how those laws should be written
Mhm.
so that we protect consumers,
Mhm.
to protect our citizenry,
Mhm.
but we allow innovation to continue.
Right.
Right now, AI can put you on the screen, do a whole show with me,
Mhm.
and it's not us. And
Mhm.
we talk about something else, of us supporting something else.
Mhm.
And it says whatever, however it wants to.
Mhm.
There's no law to stop that.
Yeah. Yeah. How can we fix that? Because I know that what's the dude's name that owns Facebook, Meta, and X, and all of that stuff. They have platforms that perpetuate lies. Is that something that can be addressed in all what you're saying?
I think that there's ways to address it. Now, in their view, they have created a digital town square. This is
Mm-hmm.
how they think. And in that digital town square, anybody can walk up and say anything,
Mm-hmm.
everything. But that's actually not true.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot go anywhere and everywhere and say anything that we want. I can't say something against the U.S. president in his face,
Mm-hmm.
and the Secret Service.
Actually, well, yeah, Secret Service will get in your ass. Yeah,
right.
uh-huh.
There are some things that you would then say that's defamation of character.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if I said this in front of everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and
And then
it's
I'd
a
have to
total
take
lie.
you to the
I
courtroom.
have right. You can take me to a
Mhm.
courtroom, and I have to show proof of why I'm saying whatever
Mhm.
I'm saying.
Mhm.
I mean, hello, Fox just went through this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And they're
Well,
gonna go through it some more.
there you go.
But this is my issue. Um, Fox lures black folks, especially focuses on black folks. Roger Ailes said it.
Okay.
They focus on black folks by putting the Sherry Shepherds and the J Huds and the Empires and all of that on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So they reel you in, so you will just get comfortable and listen to whatever bullshit that they put on their cable channels and that kind of thing, because that's what you know.
Right.
How do we fix that?
Well, see, there we live in a society where it's freedom of speech,
Mm-hmm.
and you can put on that show.
Right.
We have to counter that. And how do you counter that? You have to have a spine, a backbone.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that me running for the Democratic Party is more than me just getting this seat. It's me trying to remake this party. I believe it is time for us to remake this party.
I agree with you.
Just as loud as someone stands up for something crazy,
Mm-hmm.
someone should come with a hammer for something that's real that we should be doing.
Yeah.
Right? We're not doing that. We're allowing the loud voices to make it seem like half of the country is talking like that, and half the country isn't.
And it's not.
I have Republicans supporting me who are willing to change their registration and vote for me. Not because they want to spoil the Democratic Party, but because they're like, finally, somebody with common sense.
They want to get a quality candidate on the ballot. So y'all hear that? The Republicans are changing their affiliation to Democrat so they can vote in the primary to get a quality person on the ballot. Now sit on that.
On that for a second. And we're not. And now you can follow me. You can see that I am not talking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking common sense solutions.
Exactly.
How do we bring our wages up? Now, I'm not talking, and I'm going to say this openly.
Mhm.
I'm against the government of any kind just coming out and passing laws towards wages or anything, not understanding how it works.
Mhm.
Because when you do that, you break something
Mhm.
and it hurts another part of our society.
Mhm.
Senior citizens are hurting right now because the government just came out and it said, this is where we want to put, wages at.
Mhm.
Well, that's not how the economy works.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
in the economy.
but most people don't even realize that the federal minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour.
And,
It's
and there's ways to change that
mhm.
by going,
On
and
the
this,
by states. The states are changing.
states are changing it, but I hope states are changing it based on how they're influencing their small businesses
Mhm.
because that's who gets hit.
Right.
You can't just, I can't pass a law and say everybody has to have their shoes on in their house.
Mhm.
It's just good practice. Put on your shoes in your house.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders is trying to do that.
Right.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
But the problem with that, obviously, one
Mhm.
size doesn't fit all. But two, there's going to be things that get hurt by that.
Mhm.
Okay. Everybody now walking in my house with shoes. Now I have
Mhm.
to change out my carpet.
Right.
Right. There's a financial cost to this kind
Right.
of stuff.
Mhm.
Not just my that. I mean, somebody may get sick because of the germs that were there. If I have a little baby crawling,
Mhm.
there's just a lot of things. So, how do I get us to protect our feet? Well, I give incentives, and the first economic engine. Remember, we talked about that engine.
Right.
The first people in that engine is small businesses. And when I say small business, I'm not talking about the Fortune 500
No, I
companies.
know what you're
I'm
talking
talking about
about.
the small businesses.
Yeah. Mhm.
5, 10 people,
Mhm.
6 people, 3 people.
Mhm.
They are the engine that helps run our states.
Mhm.
When COVID hit, they were the ones out still working.
Yeah.
My company was out still working,
Mhm.
buying stuff from Home Depot,
Mhm.
keeping Lowe's going. All of these companies needed us to come out and purchase.
Mhm.
My point here is you can't just tell us. You got to create incentives for us.
Mhm.
And what's the incentive? Education.
Mhm.
I need workers who are going to be able to do the
The
job.
Mhm.
That is how you raise wages.
Mhm.
You have better skilled workers who can
Mhm.
do more for me, and you don't think I'm gonna raise the wages?
Mhm.
Heck yeah, because now I got the workers.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's how you create incentives for people. And
Mhm.
I know education is not sexy, and I know people go, well, you can't
Sure,
fix
it
everything,
absolutely is.
but it's
It
very,
absolutely is.
it's sexy to me because
Mhm.
I begin to look around and I say, wow, I can change that. Wow, I can change this.
Mhm.
And then I can go back in my history and I can say, it changed this guy's life.
Mhm.
It changed this young lady's life. It changed this situation. We all know it.
Mhm.
We've all seen it. Listen, charter schools are doing it.
Mhm.
Everything I'm talking about, charter schools want to do it. But our
That
public
charter
schools.
schools, but see, I retired from a charter school.
Mm-hmm.
Charter schools are not what, well, charter school.
I'm not here. I'm not here to say we go to charter schools. What I'm saying is there are templates
Mhm.
that show us that now is the time
Mhm.
to change our curriculum in our public schools.
And our charter schools, because charter schools go on. The charter school that I worked with,
Mhm.
the primary focus was character. Character is a great thing.
Yeah.
But to weigh a grade in a math class,
Mhm.
50% character, and then the other 50% on skill, that doesn't work in the real world.
It doesn't
And
work.
that's what charter schools tend to do. They tend to do. But I want to go back to, well, so I got to get you in the studio. But anyway.
We can in the future we can continue this.
Yeah,
dialogue.
yeah. But
Yes.
this is the home version. But anyway,
Yes.
I do want to go back to affordable housing because I see so many politicians.
All right, talk to me.
I'm looking for a governor. I'm not looking for a politician because that's
Yes.
all we
Yes.
got. But anyway, long story short, Affordable housing
Yes.
is a term that's just thrown out there.
Yes.
And from what I know,
Mm-hmm.
affordable housing in this area, they take the folks from Fairfax County,
Mm-hmm.
DC, Montgomery County, Prince George's County. They take a sampling of like 6 or 7 jurisdictions, average out the median income, if you will, and they figured that okay, you live in DC, the median income is 125,000. You ought to be able to afford to live in DC. But what about those folks living in DC who've been there like forever and making 40 grand? I look at the folks out here like me. I can't afford to move. I can't afford it. If I wanted, and we all know. I can go up and down the steps. He has problems,
Yes.
but I can't afford to pay $3,000 a month.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
that's what my daughter's paying for her house.
Mm.
I can afford that. So what is that solution? We've got to. I think a more appropriate term would be income based, and I know that's kind of people think it's never going to go back to that. My friend Angela Boyd says it's never going to go back to that, but we've got to come back to that because I've got gas in my tank, but I'm concerned that going out there, nobody's going to pay a 74-year-old, and I know I got a skill set, but you're going to try to get me for $7.25 an hour, and that's not going to happen. But
okay.
But the income base, what are we going to do about housing that people can afford?
Okay, so I'm gonna tackle this in a different way because I'm an innovative mind, and I'm not talking about pie in the sky. I'm talking about what we are doing and can do on the state and federal level. Before jumping in this race, my company was looking at building container homes. And the reason why you don't see a lot of container homes is because zoning issues.
Is that what they did in, was it Washington State or was Washington State?
Yes. Zoning issues. A home has to have a foundation to be zoned as a home.
Right.
Well, we've done the blueprints for these container homes now to be zoned as a regular home.
Wow.
Okay. Now, why do I talk containers? Because containers, I could put up a house in a few weeks. Airproof, sealed home. That's more stable than the homes that we're building today. And we're talking $50,000, $80,000. That's what we're talking. All right. I'm gonna join this really quickly. I've been crisscrossing this state.
Right.
I have seen a lot of our solar farms taking up 20, 30 acres, right? Land just gobbled for good reason, for energy. What is one of our biggest issues in cost of living? Energy. So my thing is what we have been playing for a rehabilitation community, but we can create senior citizen communities. We can create homeless communities. We can create incarceration, what do you call it? Communities that, transition communities is what we're really getting at. If we took our container homes and put the solar panels on top of those, now we're utilizing that land for more than just the energy. But now there's a subsidy that goes for that entire community. Bringing costs almost to nothing for energy. Why? Because now the state is making money off of this. If the federal government wants to get in the act, they too will be making money. So now my brothers on the one side who don't like giving anyone anything for free, right? They now can see that, okay, they're not getting that for free because they can help with that. They remember a lot of our incarcerated brethren will now be coming out with certifications. They can help with some of the facilities that we're putting up. The point is we can rethink through innovation how we do right now energy and create communities. And these container homes, there are no steps. Now, I can build a 2-story, right? But a lot of these are just taking 2 or 3 containers, putting together
Mhm.
and revamping the layout. And now it's good for everyone,
Right.
as
Right.
well as how we build them, especially for rehabilitation centers. We can build them in a way that they can't destroy the place. My point is rethinking how we do things.
Mhm.
My point is to come into government and say there's a better way.
Mhm.
We're already doing it.
Mhm.
Let's now incentivize it.
Mhm.
Let's
Mhm.
now put a plan together that bring our country up. Because I grew up in a city, everybody was doing pretty well.
Mhm.
I know what that looks like.
Right.
So for those who go, no, the poor is always, I'm talking about the poor is always going to be amongst us, and we have to have this and
Mhm.
that, and our educational system can be good over here and bad over here. I'm telling
Mhm.
you, no.
No.
I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama,
Mhm.
and everybody can look this city up.
Mhm.
I grew up in that city where it was a well-to-do city.
Mhm. Mhm.
People, everybody, you looked at the projects and said, "Oh, that's the projects." Okay,
That's the same way it was in D.C. in the 50s and 60s. You didn't know the difference.
We can do this. Is
Mhm.
my point. We can get this done, but we need common sense approaches.
Mhm.
I'm not running to tax the rich.
Mhm.
That is not my slogan.
Right.
That's dead on arrival.
Mhm.
And any Democrat running on that, I'm going to say this right
Mhm.
now because I'm now jumping on the national stage. Any Democrat running saying that, they're
Mhm.
wasting your time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because we know that that's going to be a fight in Congress.
Mhm.
So come up with ideas that can pass with some of the budgets that we have now. My
Mhm.
educational push,
Mhm.
$275 billion spent on education.
Mhm.
Now, do you see the investment? Do you see $275 billion?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So now let's revamp it and make a real investment just with the
Mhm.
curriculum. I didn't say devices. I didn't say tablets everywhere.
Mhm.
I didn't say Wi-Fi. Now I do want Wi-Fi everywhere.
Mhm.
But I'm
Mhm.
starting with the curriculum because that's how you get a young person or adult quick and faster into the fight.
Mhm. Mhm.
You follow me? So
Yeah.
did I answer your question on
You,
housing?
yeah, you absolutely did. And I like that. It's just, it's so common sense. It really is. Um, okay, what is my, okay, I got a few minutes. You got a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Because you haven't been here
Yeah.
for an hour yet. Okay, the qualified immunity, because that's a discussion that I've had over the years with in several different spaces. What can we do at a federal level that'll be palpable to the state to make folks accountable for their wrongdoing? Maybe folks, the police accountable for their wrongdoing.
This is
Just want to know your thoughts.
okay. This is my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna first go in history. Historically, policing, and I can say this, there are a lot of injustices that took place when my parents were coming up. I'm going to say that police. Policing has gotten better. I
Mm-hmm.
have to say that because I'm one who looks at the data and the progress that we've made.
Mm-hmm.
My parents, when they used to travel, they would be afraid if a cop got
Yeah.
behind them, especially if it was after dark.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this whole concept of before the sun goes down, you get it.
Damn.
Right, right. You got to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have that same fear, and I have to acknowledge that policing. I've gotten pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
Policing has.
As have I.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
just follow me.
Mm-hmm.
So policing has gotten better. The problem now that we are seeing are bad apples, a lot of bad apples,
Mm-hmm.
who the system,
Mm-hmm.
and the system has protected them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now, because we have cell phone, everybody can film,
Mm-hmm.
we are now seeing those bad apples out there. And my thing is, that's a beautiful thing because now we can deal with it. But how do we deal with it?
Mm-hmm.
People have to vote. This is where I go because you're asking an innovation technology person to dumb it all the way down to the final common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask AI would say the same thing I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
People have to vote. Why? Because America is about representation.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change something, you have to change the representation.
Exactly.
It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's how America was built in every town. Representation. This is why there was a problem with women voting. This is why there was a problem with people of color voting.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why people fought against it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they just discourage you from voting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want change, if you want to see policing have accountability, you go out and you vote the right representation in. And I guarantee you, you will get your accountability.
Yeah. Because I'm about to say, because these sideline citizens infected with the disease of indifference. That's what we have.
There you go.
Yeah, we got to get in the game. Okay, because I was looking at the statistics and I was surprised that Missouri, Oklahoma, and New Mexico have the most violent police force.
Yes.
But you thinking, well, when I think about Los Angeles, Prince George's County, you know, but no, and education. That's just on my mind 24/7, 365, because the only way we're going to get better is to get more information and to have some dialogue with the folks that we put out there to represent us.
Yes.
Let them know what we are thinking when we're thinking, okay, it's like 3:10 now. I really wish that we could, because I can talk to you.
Well,
I hit two things here, because things that you're saying say, what about that? Let's get that. And I did want to, let me get your thoughts. This the last thing.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Not a problem.
Your thoughts about the because again, as I said earlier, laws for poor, loopholes for rich. I just heard today that Donald Trump got $7.8 million from foreign countries in his 2 years of his presidency. And his lawyers are arguing, well, he donated his salary of $400,000. Okay, I'd make that trade any day to be twice on Sunday. But anyway, and you have our community especially saying, he's not going to pay for this. Nobody's going to pay for him. And he's taking it to the Supreme Court. Let me know your feelings about that. Or what do you think about that?
Let me make sure I understand the question.
Okay.
The question was, or just repeat the question.
The 1%, Donald Trump is considered by us the 1%.
Yes.
We're the 99. Because he has committed so many crimes in our faces, we don't have the faith that the justice system is going to hold him accountable. And we want him held accountable, because I know folks who have been calling the Justice Department and that.
Okay. So your question is really about the Justice Department.
My question.
Our justice system.
Our justice system.
Our justice system.
Your thoughts on that particular piece, because I know two people who want to hear what you got to say about that.
Historically, our justice system has failed us. Okay, historically.
Surprise.
So I always go historically because I want to show people that I understand where we came from. Emmett
Till.
is a prime example of our justice system failing us. And so everybody can go chew on that, white and black. They can go chew on that and they can see it failed us. You throughout his history, and we begin to get some equality in our justice system. But today, I would say in a large area, a large part, it is failing not just people of color, it's failing class. And so for one class who have influence, they're able to get through it. And for another class who just don't know what they don't know, they're unable to. I believe there is a way forward for the class that just don't know. I'm going to say it right now. I'm not giving this company or this industry any highlight, but I'm showing that it helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Prepaid legal, which is now Legal Shield,
Mm-hmm.
okay, helped me as a young man.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
I've been in it 6 years.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. So I'm just giving. Why did I bring them up? Because when you have any court case,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't be representing yourself.
Absolutely.
There should be a professional representing you.
Mm-hmm.
And with Prepaid Legal, which became Legal Shield,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big firm in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of states.
Mm-hmm.
And these are lawyers who work for the state, work for different parts, and big time lawyers. These are $600.
These are law firms.
These are law firms,
Mm-hmm.
and every person of color, and I've told this to young men especially, should have a legal shield. I got it in my wallet right now. My legal
Hashtag
shield.
me too. Mm-hmm.
Because there's a system for those who utilize it right, and then there's a system for those who just don't know how to utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Donald Trump, and I'm gonna say that, and it's the first time in an interview I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
his name
Mm-hmm.
and provoking what's happening. He uses
Mm-hmm. The legal system.
the legal system,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times us people of color take plea deals.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't know again. You
There
don't
you
know,
go.
you don't know.
But
Mm-hmm.
half the times, I'm going board at half, 60-40,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have anything on you.
I go 80-20.
Well, 80-20. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't take a plea deal because that goes onto your record.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe that our system can hold with Donald Trump? The problem that we have, and I'm going to say this,
Mm-hmm.
is that he was president.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people on both sides are sensitive to us not looking like we are jailing a president.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is,
Come tell you, what is the problem with that? He's a freaking criminal. And he's shown us in our faces that he is that person. Now, if you did what he did, you think you'd be sitting in that chair?
I'm going to answer this, and I know a lot of people are like, okay, you.
And I'm gonna go back to that too.
I don't see the world as black and white. I see the world as what resources you can marshal.
Mm-hmm.
There have been individuals of color who many would say got away with murder.
OJ, we'll continue.
Because of what they marshaled, what they put front, because they had the resources to do it. I brought up Legal Shield because everybody has the resources to do that. You're talking about $20-something, $25. $34.
Would you get the membership, the identity theft?
Yeah, I just have it on auto pay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my point is, Donald Trump is using unless you caught me with the gun in my hand, with the bullet, and you can show that bullet came from this gun, it wasn't me.
But here's the deal. Going to the insurrection, it was you who sent them folks to the Capitol. It was you. And we see it.
We see it, but what I'm trying to share with everybody is this, because I've heard this a lot of my life. Donald Trump is showing everyone the president has a lot more power than you think. And the president has discretion a lot more than the average citizen. The president is removed. Notice how the Constitution is written. He's first brought up on impeached, and then the Senate is supposed to judge. Do we remove or we, leave him in office? That is the repercussions for most presidents. They didn't say remove and go to jail. They said just remove from office.
But he's not the fucking president anymore.
I understand. But what is he doing to us? He is running for president again. And it puts it in this quagmire where he's the leader of this other party running. And we have to convict him on some of these crimes.
Mhm.
So it has to go through our system.
Mhm.
It has to go through the process to be legit. Now, do I believe that he should be going through this process? Yes.
Mhm.
It's just like any other citizen.
Yeah, he's got the same
Yeah.
Bill of Rights that you and
Right.
I have,
So
but he's got the money to fight it.
he has the money and he has the influence to
Mhm.
fight it.
Mhm.
And so right now he's made everything political.
Mhm.
So it's it's politics and it's the law being now judged
Mhm.
what he's going through.
But here's the thing, and we talked about it earlier. The only place it's not illegal to tell a lie is in the court, judge, that kind of thing. So he's got Fox 5 and their cable and all that shit. They're lying. What and because of this AI stuff, this Meta and the X, we can't do nothing about it. It seems like we should be able.
We
the
can.
people should be able to do.
We the
something.
people can.
Mhm.
If you feel that Donald Trump, and this is the beautiful part that's
Mhm.
about to take place.
Mhm.
I wanted Donald Trump to run against Joe Biden,
Mhm.
and I wanted the election to play out, and it
Mhm.
played out.
Mhm.
Biden beat Donald
Right.
Trump.
Mhm.
Period.
Right.
Yeah, period.
Mhm.
Well, we the people
Mhm.
have a choice this election.
Mhm.
You can either stay home, which is a vote for
Mhm.
Donald Trump.
Exactly.
So if you stay home,
Say that again for the people in the back.
if you stay home, that is a vote for Donald Trump.
Mhm.
Period. If you vote, and I'm gonna say this, if you vote for a third party, that's a vote for Donald Trump.
That is correct.
Now, why do I say that? Because we're a two-party system country.
Mhm.
I mean, let's just keep it real.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, we got some independents, we got the Green Party, we got all these different parties, but ultimately, we're a two-party system.
Mhm.
So Obama said it best: chicken or fish.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
That's
chicken or fish, people.
Mhm.
So if you want Donald Trump not to be in office and you want to send a message that no one is above the law and can't, just come back and now be exonerated by becoming president,
Mhm.
because he will. If he
Mhm.
becomes president, all that goes away.
Yes. Oh my God.
So this comes back to what we said earlier.
Mhm.
Vote,
Vote.
vote.
And just as a a PS on what you said, the Green Party is funded by Bernie Marcus. Bernie Marcus is the owner of Home Depot and is a staunch Trump supporter.
Yeah.
He gave $90 million to that campaign. Cornel West, keep in mind, I always say all skin folk and kin folk. Cornel West started off with the Green Party.
Yes.
Green Party and the No Labels Party is there strictly to pull votes from democracy, not the democracy. You cannot endorse. It's just like Senator Cruz said. Let me give you that. Okay.
I received it.
If you vote for anything other than the Democrat, you are voting against democracy. You are voting against your own interests. Life as you know it is going to change if your ass don't show up and get it right in 2024.
Yeah.
So with that, do you have any closing remarks to say? Because I'm going to get you in studio.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to do it.
Okay. There's a lot more space in studio.
My closing remarks: today is my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Oh, it's my brother's birthday too.
Well, okay. Well, then he's a great man. Today we're pushing 250 people just to give $20.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to electmarcelluscruz.com and
Mhm.
give just $20.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're asking today. Campaigns take money.
That's it.
And they cost. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, we feel good at where we are in this election. And I'm going to say this openly.
Mm-hmm.
The people that we're running against, I have no personal problems with them.
I did, but continue.
My problem is I believe that a different skill set, different innovative mindset needs to go to this office now and be on the team to push Maryland forward as well as our nation forward. And what we're seeing on the ground is the more people we get in front of, the more people are signing up to our campaign, whether they're Republican, Independent, or Democrat. They see that we're just talking common sense and we just
really
want to move forward now and bring new leadership on the national stage. So, $20 is all we're asking for right now. Do we believe we can win? Yes. If you spent over $10 million and you've not locked down this race, that's a problem. If you have all the endorsements and you've not locked down this race, that's a problem. Why? Because that means people are looking for more. And I've had people say, I want to either interview you or I want to meet you, or I want to have you come and speak because they want to see what else is out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm saying it, and I'm going to say it because I believe it. Marcellus Cruz is what's out there. This is the closest thing that you're going to get to yourself running.
Okay.
Because
all right, now.
I am one of you.
Amen. Because I found you on Ballotpedia, and I send everybody to Ballotpedia. I don't care what state you live in. You can go to Ballotpedia and see who's running. Vet your candidates.
Yes.
Vet.
Yes.
If you live in a closed primary state,
Yes.
please change your affiliation, because you can change your affiliation anytime you want and
Yes.
change it back. You have the freedom to do that.
Yes.
But most importantly, vote.
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 Okay.
I'm with you.
So, sir, let me move into the camera now so people can see me.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get this gentleman in studio. We're going to get him in studio because we've got Michaela McCray, who is our millennial, my co-host, my favorite millennial on the planet. And we got Tanya Sweat. I already gave you her promo. She should be county executive because she gives a damn about government and she gives a damn about doing things right. So with that, we the people believe that there is good in the world.
Yes.
And we challenge each and every listener to go out there and be the good. This is A21. I'm out.